There are so many different types of homeschool curriculum out there, and so many of them are expensive. Which math book do you buy? Which English textbook do you buy? Which curriculum do you buy? Do you buy an entire box curriculum? How is one expected to make these decisions? Well, today that's what we're talking about, and I'm going to help you, hopefully, with some of the guidelines I used to choose curriculum for my students through the years. Who am I? I'm Jacqueline, and this is homeschoolhangout.xyz. And today we are talking about how I chose curriculum. If you like these types of videos, thumbs up, like, subscribe, find me on social media, join my Facebook group, buy me a coffee, all the things. Let's get into this. So first off, this is actually part of a collaboration being hosted by Magali Del Angel. I always feel like I kill everybody's names, so I apologize if I got it wrong again. And she's over at Homeschool in Paradise. Stick around till the end of the video. There's going to be a link down below to all the videos in the collaboration, because what works for me may not exactly work for you. So check those out too. Okay, so first off, I've done it. I read The Well-Trained Child. I bought everything for first grade, used about half of it. And there has to be a better way to pick curriculum, right? Right. So we're going to agree with that. And I'm going to give you a few things to look at. First off, what is it exactly you're looking for? Are you looking to teach a subject? Are you looking for a survey? And a survey means that you're going like all of history over here, or I'm generally introducing a subject. Are you learning to teach a specific skill like grammar or editing or American literature or United States geography? They're not all English things. U.S. geography. What is it that you're looking for? So that's the first thing. And be specific, because frankly, for myself, I'll use English as an example. I don't really love textbooks for any subject, but there were times I wanted to teach grammar, or I wanted someone to walk them through doing a survey of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That was one of the things we looked at for 1 year. Whatever that is, if it's just a specific thing, then look for just a specific thing. U.S. geography was something we did 1 year because my U.S. geography stinks, I'll be honest. I'm a product of the public school. No, I'm just joking. I am, but my U.S. geography stinks. So we did just U.S. geography for a couple months. So I just needed a small little thing to help learn that. So look at what it is you actually want to learn versus a year-long fourth grade math book, whatever those are. Then look at learning styles. If you don't know your kid's learning style, that's okay. That's okay. You'll learn a lot by going through and doing stuff. But learning styles. I knew in math, my kids were the kind that if they got it, they wanted to move on. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't always get it first time. So I did a hybrid. I did Singapore math, where I would hand them the workbook and they figured out on their own. And then we had the textbook if they needed help. They were very small. They were like $8 at the time. They're not anymore. But then separately, I also had a subscription to the math worksheet site, which is like $25 a year. Love them, highly, highly endorse them. Because while they got most concepts first off, they might struggle with certain types of multiplication or certain types of division. And I create worksheets just to practice that. But I knew that if I did a mastery-based curriculum like Saxon Math, my children would hate me. My first hint was I hated it when I was in school. When you do the 10 pages of repeating stuff and you're like, I got this last week. Why am I doing this again? Now, many students need that. And mastery works very good for a lot of people. I just knew my kids weren't that minded. And when they did need the practice, though, and we would do summer practice books and we would do things like that. But for general during the year, we didn't. But that was just my kids. I also knew that I had a kid with dysgraphia, which means something that was just a lot of writing for no reason of anything, English, history, anything would drive her crazy. And so I didn't do a lot of curriculums that needed paragraphs written. She could type up a paragraph, she could form a paragraph, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't going to be how she remembered the facts. So that's things that we looked at for my kids. So we've got what are you teaching? We got how do they learn? And if you don't know how they learn, I really recommend taking a couple months and printing off different styles of worksheets and doing some other things that we'll get to that will help you deduce what works for them. 3, just make a general rule that you will not spend so much that if they don't like it, and when I say like it, everyone doesn't love everything, but if they hate it and they aren't learning anything, you can change streams and not cry every night over how much money you've spent. That was a recommendation given to me when I started, and I so appreciated it. If I would have gone out and spent $1,000 on all this curriculum, or $2,000, and my first child hated it and wouldn't do it, it would have been a constant source of either I feel guilty for not doing it, or he doesn't love learning like he could. So just make a mental note that, it's kind of like playing the stock market, especially, to begin with. You don't know what's going to do well. So don't risk more than you can lose. I hate to say that. Which gets me into my next point, though. This can be through friends. This can be through libraries of curriculum. This can be through websites. But check out the curriculum first. You know what I mean? As somebody who's homeschooled since dinosaurs have, gone away, I have a room with a ton of different curriculum on bookshelves. And if you're local and you want to look at something, you can always ask me. And I don't have all the traditional. I have a lot of different things, though. And I have friends come over, look at it. Sometimes they take it home and try it with their kids for a lesson or two before they decide to buy it. Now, if you're really blessed and you live in a place like Fresno, and I know other places have them, we have something through our Christian Home Educators of the Fresno area, CHEFA. We have a library that people donate their curriculum to sometimes, frequently, and you can go sit in the library and just look through curriculum if you're a member. They also have plenty of just reading books for your kids that they check out. And the nice thing about this is if you like it, you can even check it out for the entire year or decide if you want to buy it. But let's say you don't have any homeschooling friends. Let's say you don't have that library option, because I don't know of any others in Fresno. I just know that they exist. Your last thing is go to the websites. Yes, go to the websites. A good example is Prima Latina was something we did with our kids when they were little. And it's kind of a intro to Latin course. It has a video and it has lessons. My kids loved it, especially my older two. The younger two don't remember it quite as well. But they have a sample lesson on their page. Rod and Staff, I believe it was Rod and Staff had a Bible study curriculum that I got a unit for, and I got a sample unit for my nephew when he was living here, and we could try it out with him. They often have some sort of samples or examples or videos or whatever it is of them, or a trial period where you can try them out and see how they fit. It's like trying on clothes. Sometimes it looks really pretty up on that shelf, but once you put it on, it is not a good fit. And that is okay. You would rather figure that out. Back when I started, was it the old Schoolhouse? Was a magazine. It's still a magazine. I've done stuff with them since. But they actually had like a postcard packet, and you could send off, because I'm old, you could send off for samples of some of these things. I highly, highly recommend them. The other thing you can do is when you're buying them, look at the used book sources. Sometimes, yes, that's Amazon and stuff, but there used to be something called Veg Source, and I think that still exists. I'll include a link down below, but there are different used curriculum sites. So you can always, be on the fence about something, but check out a cheap copy of it. And even if it's a little tattered, if it doesn't, you can always get the nicer one if it works. We kind of look at it like we look at buying a lot of things in our lives of like, I'll give the example of when we got our first baby stroller. My husband and I start at the cheapest and we work our way up instead of starting at the nicest and working our way down. And what do I mean by that? You start at the nicest and you go, what can I lose? What can I lose? What can I lose? And then you go, ooh, I don't want to lose any of this. Oh, it's not quite as nice. Oh, it's a little hard. Go the other way. start at the bottom, find your cheapest viable option. So when we got strollers, the first stroller couldn't hold a car seat. The second stroller didn't come with the car seat. The third level had the car seat and had what I needed to put my keys and stuff in it and a purse holder and all those things. So that's what we got. Now we knew that if for some reason we didn't use it, we got the cheapest option we could. But if we used it so much it fell apart, it would justify buying the next one nicer up. And we kind of looked at it that way. So kind of look at your books that way. If you go, ooh, that's a really expensive one, and I really think we'd like it, but I'm not sure. If you can't find a friend to borrow it from, can't find samples, buy a used copy and go, oh, it's missing a few pages. Okay, that's okay. It has most of everything I need, so you may never need to buy the full thing. But even if you do need to buy the new thing, at least then you'll know you like it and you use it. The other things that I have to recommend in using curriculum is don't. Now, that's not exactly true. I was very specific in what I wanted to teach my kids, and I bought them just those things. So, English, good example. Many people buy English books. I didn't. I don't like textbooks a whole lot to begin with. What I did is I got a first grade list of books to read with them. And then, I want to do grammar. I went to a teacher yard sale for public school and bought those 5-a-day grammar things because they've shown that with grammar specifically, more is caught than taught. And you really only need to do it like 3, maybe 4 times over their school career. So I got those 5-a-days and we did those. Sometimes I get like a little editor-in-chief from Critical Thinking Company. All these little things to just teach what I wanted. Oh, we're going to read Shakespeare this year. But first, I want them to understand how to study Shakespeare. Well, rather than go buy a whole curriculum, what you do is you go to, I think Seven Sisters has one. And hopefully Editing Jackie is watching this and marking these things down. I believe they have one, a unit study on a specific Shakespearean play. Well, you do that first and teach them how to look at it, and then you can just read the rest of them together. Now, don't get me wrong. Full disclosure, I have gotten a lot of curriculum that I have fallen in love with, deeply in love with, and I've gotten it to review for free. So my kids have done plenty of curriculum. Do not worry. They haven't missed out. But we've done things like, instead of doing a specific year-long class, we've done some literature for 9th grade, and then we did, I believe it's like the Pirate Creative Thinking course. It's a course, but for us it was less than a semester, and it teaches them like how to creatively think about laying out a story. It was great. They loved it, but it wasn't a full year curriculum. I also really, really love using library books and reference books. That's where I invested my money. I got a lot of Usborne reference books, encyclopedias. I believe I even have a dictionary of math. And I highly recommend those kinds of things. And figured out what we wanted to do from there. We did geography. We got a little geography book on California geography. U.S. geography. Different things like that. And so we kept it very finite. So I was also able to buy some cheaper curriculum. Now, if you really want a box curriculum lays out, that's fine. That works for you. That wasn't my jam. And there are box curriculums like Sunlight. But I know that you can get samples of Sunlight stuff so that you can look and see if it works for you. Easy Peasy is a free curriculum. Schoolhouse Teachers actually has one of the full curriculum sets that I like. You need to use your computer and print stuff or send it to be printed. But the thing I like about that is you pay a membership fee to Schoolhouse Teachers and you have access to everything they have. So if the 3rd grade English class isn't working for you, you can try the 2nd or the 4th. You can piece it together and not have to buy the 3rd grade curriculum, and then the next year you buy the 4th grade curriculum. So I like that because it gives you some variety. But you have to find what works for you. And sometimes you get in and you go, this is not working. This is not working at all. And that's okay. That is okay. Okay, so that's my long and droned on 2 cents on how I choose curriculum. What are you struggling with in choosing curriculum? What has worked best for you? What has been your favorite book you've used with your kid? Let me know. Help me discover some new things to recommend to you and other people like you. And help me out. Help me out. Leave it in the comments. I hope this helped. Check out the rest of the videos in the collaboration and have a wonderful day.